Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Princess of STEM, where we discuss all things science, technology, engineering, and math. And now your host, Dr. Whitney Gaskins.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Princess of STEM Diaries. I am excited today to talk about informal STEM and all things informal STEM. So before we just open the conversation, I have to say, we are an informal STEM organization. And we talked about this probably in season 1 of like why we exist and who the Gaskins Foundation actually is. But it's so much deeper than I think we ever get to expose the world to because we're working. Like we really put a lot of time, energy, and effort into all of our initiatives. And I just want to talk about why we do it and some of the things that we do and some of the things on the horizon for us as an organization. I think it's important. And you've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. So I think that this is a good moment to stop and have that chat. Okay. So informal STEM, I'll start with you. Why did you want to talk about informal STEM education?
So we were collecting data for so long and really trying to, it's a STEM project, but a lot of it is around engineering because I think engineering has always been probably the most divisive and the most, in terms of trying to separate. I don't know if divisive is the word, but.
What do you mean? Well, it's just.
Like the pathway is so rigid. For engineering.
Yes.
Like, because I can have a student that can get into college as a chemist.
Yes.
But not get into a program to be a chemical engineer.
Yeah.
And so engineering has all these accepted benchmarks and viewpoints.
Yeah.
And so we've been looking at it for so long. And so, part of the data showed us that the reality is, a lot of the public school students, traditional public schools that are not magnet. Sorry, I got crazy folks on the mind that are not magnet.
Yes.
Don't get into engineering programs.
I mean, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, it is. And
opportunity and access.
Yes.
Well, they do tie together. So you're talking about the fact that because by 3rd grade in some schools, 5th in others, you cannot go into engineering based off of your math placement as early as 3rd grade.
Right.
Which I always struggle with.
Right.
Because what kind of a message are we sending? Right. And is that the reality of engineering?
Right.
I can't help but think of the origins of like farmers and workers were inventing to help make their lives a little bit easier when doing that laborious work. Like working the field and getting this work done, it's hard work. And so they're coming up with these types of machinery and inventions, innovations to make the work easier, lesser on the body, right? That's where engineering came from, right? Like it came from people working.
Right.
So when did it become this requirement to be so cerebral that like I have to know how the world works and all elements of physics and calculus? Like when did it turn into that? And I always grapple with this access thing because of the origins of the field. It's an applied science.
Right. And I think, so for us, I think the informal piece, and it even started with us creating our roadmap to STEM.
Yeah.
And so the roadmap to STEM actually outlines like these are kind of the benchmarks you should be at this point. And then for us, we separated it even more to say, okay, these are the things that you should get in school. These are the things that are outside of the school. These are the things that we feel we can adequately provide as an informal STEM partner. And I think that's where our work got centered. Because I think we were doing a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yes.
And it goes back into, and I may have said this before, it goes back into that, ignoring the politics of what the old GEI, the Jack Welch guy said. What you're going to do it better. You need to be the best or don't do it. And his thing was either be the best and do it, or outsource it, or get rid of it if you're not going to be the best.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes.
I don't think we adopted that formally, but I think for us, when we start talking about our theory of change,
Yeah.
is what can we do? Because the schools are the schools, and
Yeah.
so
It's
for us is, okay, you're identifying some of the things that you can provide outside of the school system. And
Mhm.
I a lot of what my position is, if you're looking at developing an engineer the same you would as an athlete. And so a lot of the athlete getting better does not happen in the school. So we're
Yeah, it's
asking the
not.
school to do things that, if you look at how someone traditionally becomes a quote unquote professional, does not happen in the schools.
Correct.
And
Okay.
so, yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mhm.
I agree with you. There's so many barriers to what you're
Mhm.
saying, though. See, the athletic model, what we fail as a culture to, I don't know if we fail at this. What we've accepted as our truth is that
Mhm.
we're okay with people being in athletics.
Right.
We push athletics so hard that
Mhm.
they're like telling kids when they're 8, well, they're too late. They're not going to make it because they've over specialized kids in sports,
Right.
which is also leading an increase in injury and burnout and all these things,
Right.
which we could talk about, but that's what we've accepted that as a society. There's basketball courts, soccer fields, there's rec centers, program, like you can find an athletic program
Mhm.
quickly and they're affordable. Not all, but you
Mhm.
can find affordable to free options to help
Mhm.
level your kid up in sports. Not all sports, right? Like there's still those specialty sports. Like if your kid wanted to play water polo, you're not going to get the same level of access.
Right.
But basketball, baseball,
Mhm.
football, volleyball, even they got your back.
Right.
We've got your back as a society.
Right. And I think even the community piece and how we position ourselves is, how do we help people support the youth? Because that's the thing with basketball.
Yeah,
You don't have to be a good basketball player
Lord knows
to
I
know
wasn't.
how to help a young person get
Are
good
you
at
laughing because
basketball.
I said I wasn't good at basketball?
Yes. I mean, I played basketball in high school. That was where I stopped. So by definition, I'm a mediocre at best basketball player.
You were considered mediocre?
Yes, because I didn't go past high school.
You didn't want to.
Because I knew I was not. Look, a 6'3" power forward
Oh,
was
I
not
see what
going to
you're-
work.
Yeah.
Unless you're Charles Barkley.
Well, you could have been more like Charles.
Well, I knew where my future lied.
Okay.
So I think the community can embrace a future basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
They can embrace a future entertainer. They know how to rally around that.
Well, we
Even
know
w-
what talent looks like.
Yes.
When you hear it, you know someone can sing or they can't.
Right.
Like when they're dancing, you know that they're talented or not, right?
Right.
Like you can
Right.
see the example is universal,
Right.
maybe. Like
Right.
we can see that. We know what that looks like.
Right. And so our thing with how we teach STEM is, because we burn ourselves out. And I think we went through a period where we were going to this place on Monday and this place on Tuesday. And
there
it
on
was
Wednesday, and then
it-
every Saturday. We had
Yeah.
a crazy
yes.
relentless
And
schedule.
so for us, it is empowering the people to
Yes.
learn. So finding people that may be in a rec center, giving them the skill sets.
Mhm.
Because our wheelhouse is, we have a curriculum team that's at the top of their game.
Yes. Amazing.
And
An
so for us,
amazing
it's
group.
how to train that person who may not be an engineer, who may not be an educator, or is an educator that doesn't teach STEM, and giving them the tools. So providing them the curriculum, providing them a training so they can facilitate these and evaluate these. Because I think that's where we can hit our sweet spot, as opposed to us trying to be in 20 places. And instead, it's trying to elevate the people in those spaces that are already there.
I love that you even used our word, right? Like empowering people, because
Mhm.
our EPIC project is empowering parents in
Mhm.
community churches. Like our
Mhm.
whole goal was equipping the parents at
Mm-hmm.
a church to teach their kids STEM education, because we
Mm-hmm.
know how important family involvement
Mm-hmm.
is in their kids' lives, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone wants to ship their kid to school and think that the teachers and the school day is supposed to just be the end all be all. And
Mm-hmm.
we recognize that that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about providing curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So I push back on this because a lot of people love boxes. They want to put your work in a box and say, this
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. In the informal STEM box, sure, maybe we're in that larger box, but we're not just building curriculum to give to a teacher or to a
Mm-hmm.
parent.
Mm-hmm.
Our informal STEM learning is about the connectedness of the world. And this is like the hill that I'm going to die on,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not just doing classroom type work outside of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
We literally walk through with our communities to co-create
Mm-hmm.
how they see STEM in their life. And it is the most beautiful model that I've ever experienced or been a part of. It makes me a little emotional because
Mhm.
I think about how we just talked about like entertainment being a universal, we know what excellence looks like. But there's kids that like love music, but might not be that next level, but they learned about how sound
Mm-hmm.
waves moved. They learned how to build their own instrument. They built ukuleles and guitars and drums,
Mm-hmm.
and they learned about vibration and how sound worked because they wanted it.
Right.
They wanted to explore that topic.
Mhm.
They learned about how hair products work, not because we wanted to just do this unit, but they wanted to know about hair care. And so we could talk about with a dermatologist and a beauty scientist about how hair worked
Mm-hmm.
and how these products support hair health. And they got to make and create their own. It's contextualized, right? Like, it's deeper than just, we're not doing classroom units at church, right? Like, we're not just doing school outside of school hours.
Right.
We are doing projects that
Mhm.
both the parents and the kids said, when I see this, I really am curious about this. And I
Right.
want to dig deeper into that topic.
Right.
And we provide a space to do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how many of you guys explored why fingernail polish is wet in the bottle and dry on your nail? Like, that's literally verbatim what the kid like, what is that
Mhm.
about? And we got to dig into that.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about chemical reactions. It's not like we don't know why this happens, but you weren't positioning chemical reactions in that way.
Right. Right.
But we are.
Right.
Like, I just think that it's deeper than how, like, surface level, because you can find STEM curriculum. I guarantee you could Google right now
Mm-hmm.
some science or STEM project, and you could try to implement that somewhere and go to a space and do that project.
Right.
And I'm sure there will be beautiful outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Why ours works and why it's so important and critical to me is that ours is connected to the community about what they wanted to
Right.
know about. And
Right.
we still deliver quality science
Right.
with their interests at the top of mind.
Right.
Not just STEM delivery. It's about making sure people are aware of the world around them. And it's
Right.
just, I'm passionate, as you can tell, about
Right.
it.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
No, I think you nailed it. I think for us, like I said, when I go out and talk, and when I do get invited to schools,
Mm-hmm.
I have them do a project that's related to what they see in their community,
Mm-hmm.
because they see things, and a lot of times they don't feel like they're engaged in what's happening. So that we ask them, okay, pick something in your community, in your surroundings, that you want to fix.
Yeah.
And we build an engineering design process around, they want to modify how traffic flows, or they want to modify different things. I mean, we've had a young lady, when we were working at a high school, she wanted to create a different kind of Band-Aid. Remember that?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then she went into biomedical.
Biomedical engineering. She was
Yep.
like, I want a different type of Band-Aid. And we're not talking about like flesh. It was about like organic
Mhm.
material that
Mhm.
would help the planet, but also help you. That's more yeah. And she
Yeah.
went into biomedical engineering.
Yes.
That was like a core memory unlocked. We've done a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's some of why we want to it's two-part. Why we want to start the students early, because we want to have their interest. But there is still that side where you still have to take algebra in 8th grade to become an engineer. And
I
so we
mean,
look at, and that's probably what the LMS probably is designed to help them most with, because
well, people don't know what the LMS is.
so we're creating a learning management system. LMS stands for Learning Management System. You'll see, if you've ever heard of Coursera, if you've ever heard, a lot of schools use Canva. So we're creating our own. And it's really designed to identify all of the different type of ways students learn.
Mhm.
But it's actually designed to be used outside of a school setting. Now, we know there's schools that don't have the resources, so in that case, it can be used. It's built up in that way, but you can learn about algebra,
Calc.
like it has the whole math sequence.
Yeah.
When it's done, algebra,
You didn't do
geometry.
geometry, did you?
I have to record the videos.
Oh, so it's mapped out.
It's
just-
mapped out.
Okay.
So it has worksheets. So, and this is the one thing you challenged. Don't just have something that they can get on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
there's
so our
many
thing is
people on
different.
YouTube.
So you'll be in videos for the algebra course and talking about how this impacts daily life.
Yeah.
So there'll be that kind of video. So there's a little bit of everything in there. There'll be a video to instruct it. If you don't like instruction, if you like to go through a PowerPoint, there'll be videos. There's worksheets. There's online quizzes. And then the piece that that I think we had our aha moment is there's link to tutoring in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think just about every school we've worked with said we need tutors.
They
we
want
need
tutors.
So you can build in that piece. And there's links to other. If you use, say, Khan Academy, you can watch another video from Khan Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're building that, because there is that piece. As much as I want to say you can build a bridge, you should become an engineer, the system is still structured where you have to have these academic things to get there. And so we're building a resource to help students. We're really excited about this resource.
I feel like, yeah, we're excited about the LMS. I feel like it's also filling a gap in representation. So when you talk
Yes.
about opportunity and access, I agree with you. Engineering in particular is a professional degree at an undergraduate level.
Yes.
And we don't talk about that enough.
Yes.
Like, it is ridiculous, the qualifications and prerequisites that you have to acquire in your primary and secondary school to go to an undergraduate program
Right.
in engineering.
Right.
There are other pathways in, but it just adds time. It's time to career, right? Which means time to money. Because you could go to a community college, you could remediate and then go into engineering later,
Right.
but time to degree is just going to be longer.
Right. And I think engineering is probably, out of, if you're looking at STEM fields, I can show you a pathway into engineering is probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Because if you look at science, and I'll say this, if you're a C student in high school, are there pathways
Into engineering?
into STEM? Science, you get into college.
You still have to have the prereqs.
Right. And that's the
Yeah.
thing with engineering. Like, if you miss these prereqs from 8 to 12,
Yeah.
it's
you're-
very difficult. Whereas medicine, you have a whole 4 years of undergrad. You
Yeah.
get into undergrad. I think you get in undergrad, do well in it, because sometimes you're a late bloomer, you figure it out, and then you can go into medicine. Science is kind of the same way. You know, if you can get into college, you can do well, get into an arts and science college and
Yeah.
become a scientist. Tech probably has the most pathway. It's the
It is-
lowest hanging fruit. Like,
it is
you
the
can take a
most
6-month
diverse pathway,
Udemy
yeah.
course, and because we've talked about it, and this is not to offend anybody, but there's a lot of people that claim they're in tech that's like, are you?
When I think about people in tech, my first default are coders.
And it's not that.
And it's
anymore.
not. People will, like, our HR professionals that work at a tech company, and they're like, I'm in tech. And I'm like, oh, sure, right? Because you work at that company, but you can also switch companies. The skilled coders, like, they're going to be coders. Like, they are tech, no matter where they work. If whether they work in healthcare
Right.
or a startup, like, they're tech. So I didn't realize people were classifying what field they were in by what company they worked for, not the job or profession that they actually had at said company. Because I would have said, if I'm in HR, I'm in HR.
Right.
not I'm in tech because I work in HR at tech. Or if I'm a marketing professional at a tech company, I would say I'm in marketing, not I'm in tech. But they say they're in tech because they work at a company that's tech.
Right. And
Does anybody else do that?
Well, I know we don't. As engineers, we're the snobs. We're like
because you're an engineer.
We're like, I'm an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer.
No matter where I work, I'm an engineer.
I am an engineer. We are the snobs. And maybe because we have to go through all these things. Like
Yeah,
we
but
have
you're
to take all these calculus
think.
classes.
Does any other career do that other than tech? Like if you're a nurse, you're in healthcare. But if you're a nurse that goes to work at a manufacturing company, do you say like I'm in manufacturing?
Like, does the school nurse say they're in education?
Yeah, like does the school nurse say I'm an educator? Does the
I think they would say they're in
clinic nurse
healthcare.
at a manufacturing company, because they have their own clinics there too, do they say they're in manufacturing?
No, they say they're in healthcare.
They're in healthcare. They're nurses. So why does the tech field say that you're in tech if you're not actually doing the tech?
Well, I think because tech is hot.
It's the sexy thing.
It's the sexy thing to say.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I've never in my life done that. But I'm also an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to tell you what field I'm in because you know what kind of job I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, is that snobby?
We are definitely snobs.
Engineers are snobs?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a snob?
Yes. Listen, when I've been there when like I have a home. We talked about the engineering homework. Yes.
Am I a snob?
When someone says I have a 10-page paper to write that's due tomorrow.
Oh, I was absolutely snobby in college.
Yes.
Because people were like kicking it. We had we called every day of the week something, right? Like, do you guys remember this? Like Thirsty Thursdays and like Wasted Wednesdays. I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But like people could kick it that hard. Like in college. And I couldn't. I had a problem set that was assigned to me on Monday. Worked on it every day. Monday, Tuesday. Still not done.
Yeah.
Still don't know what I'm doing. Come Thursday, they're like, we're going out for Thirsty Thursday. And I'm like, have fun, toodaloo. Because I still have, and it was only like 5 problems on the problem set. I still have to finish my problem set.
Yes. You have the uninformed that'll say something like, well, why didn't you start early? I did.
I started the day it was assigned.
They gave it to us on Tuesday. I started on Tuesday, and here we are the next Monday. I'm still working on the 3rd problem.
So I was snobby from that standpoint that I felt like all majors were not created equal. Like, I would get so mad at the people that are like, oh, I had to read a book. You're in school. Of course you had to read a book. I had to read a book too, and had to do the problem set, and had to do a project, and had to do the test. Like, I was absolutely snobby about the workload.
Yes.
Unapologetically snobby about the workload.
But I think some of that comes from the workload and how we're conditioned to meet these
ridiculous demands.
And part of it is, look at it. If we identified it, if you're going into engineering, you're probably on some kind of special pathway. Like they don't teach everybody algebra. They pull you out of your class and say, okay, we're going to go over to this. Like I took my algebra class at the high school because my 8th grade, where I was at in 8th grade, did not offer algebra. So I got on the bus to the high school and they picked like, 20 of us because we had algebra, you took algebra in a foreign language. Half took French, half took Spanish, and algebra.
We had very similar upbringing. So my school was elementary, junior high, and high school. And so junior high is only 7th and 8th grade. So elementary was K through 6 or 1 through 6. I don't remember kindergarten if it was there. And then high school is 9 through 12. We called them 2-period freshmen. I was a 2-period freshman because in the 8th grade, you take these special classes so that way you could go to high school early, basically because you took algebra in 8th grade, you took geometry in 9th. So like I was like, it's a special track, and it was like 1 or 2 bus loads of kids that would go up to the high school to take the 2 classes, 2 periods, 2 classes, and you go back. And we called it, oh, you're a 2-period freshman.
But
I don't understand.
But we found that we did the surveys at the conference.
Yes, the Demagnetizing STEM project.
Demagnetizing STEM project, which we need to publish. I think that's going to be a book once we get through all the data and all the resources that we think could resolve some issues. But it was like you're literally reading. You live in Chicago. You go to college. You're an engineer. When did you take 8th grade? When did you take algebra? 8th grade. You went through here. You went through here. You live in New York. When did you take algebra? 8th grade. Were you in a magnet program? Did you go to public school? Yes, I went to public school. Were you in a special program? Yes.
Nobody.
Like we've identified, like it is very clear
Yeah.
that the pathway it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate and it's engineering.
Yes.
Because it doesn't apply to all of STEM.
No, that's why we changed it, actually.
Yes,
Remember,
because it was supposed to be demagnetizing STEM. And we'd be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is an engineering issue.
It was an engineering
Because you can become a
access
chemist and take algebra in 9th grade.
Yes.
You can't do that in 8th grade.
Yeah, that's what the data told us.
Mhm.
I actually am sad that we didn't publish.
I think we should.
We
did a conference paper.
We did a conference paper for Connected.
Yeah, I actually started working on an abstract for a paper for that.
Oh, we
But
need to write that up.
I'm like, is this a paper or is this a book? Because
The
this
hours
is
of the
a
day are just
community
getting
thing.
away from us.
I know. But yeah, it is clear. You're in engineering. Where'd you go? Well, I lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
You're in engineering. Where'd you go? Well, I went to a private school. Were you in a public school? Yes, I was in the public school. Were you on the magnet track? Yes.
See, but this is the difference. Suburban public versus urban public.
Mm-hmm.
Urban public was the lowest.
Yes.
Unless you were in a special program at a magnet school.
And this
that's what the data told us.
I think this goes back to the informal learning because I feel like the things that you need, these schools are able to incorporate them in their day.
Yeah, that's part of their regular
like you have
school day.
Engineering design
As a class.
As a class.
Yeah.
That's still they found ways to incorporate informal things as part of their school.
Yeah.
And so I think this is us, and I don't want to get too nerdy on this, but I feel like we should dive deeper into that research because we found the trends. But I think one of the things, the difference is that the informal piece gets integrated into a formal learning aspect.
Yeah.
And I think that outside of the school, when they're in those communities, the parents are also putting them in those programs. They
Agreed.
know to put their and can afford to put their kids in FIRST Robotics.
Well, so I was talking about the representation piece of our LMS, not to go down the path, even though I liked the path that we went down, but because that was also important because they needed to see that people that look like us are able and capable. And we don't have enough examples. And I don't want to say that because that's not true either. I hate that. Like, oh, there's so few. We're not black unicorns, right? Like there are millions of brilliant black people and we only highlight those that are like gone, if that makes sense, right? Like I think that we have a couple of friends who have a podcast called Modern Figures for that reason, because the hidden figures, we just basically romanticize history as if there were a million brilliant black people right now.
Right.
And so I think our LMS also has that element of representation because now we can show the community what it looks like. Right. We can show the community that people that look like us absolutely can go into these fields. You don't have to be Stephen Hawking smart to do it. You have to just work at it, right? Like I'm not math minded in the same way you are. You think in numbers. It is a beautiful thing. I think it's kind of a brilliant thing. I really kind of wish somebody would have unlocked the brilliance. Like your mom did a beautiful job fostering it because I think it's funny that she made you calculate all of like the shopping orders before the cash register. That's how fast you are. I think that's cool. But I also am like, why don't you have your doctorate in mathematics? Or like, why aren't you like one of those people that we're highlighting that did this cool math? Because your mind is a math mind. You were born
they push
to
you
do
to engineering
math.
for a career.
Yeah, but they push you in engineering for career, and it's not even something that you absolutely wanted to do.
Right, but that's the thing. When you're in that mindset, they tell you, hey, you're good in math. Well, you need to go into engineering. Why? Because engineers make the most money coming out of undergrad.
So you just wanted the money. I did not go into engineering for money. Well, I get people do. I did not.
Doing this thing for nothing.
I didn't say I didn't want a job. I went into engineering because I really did think I was going to save people's lives. I wanted to be a biomedical engineer to save lives. I wanted to develop inventions and creations that helped people live better lives. I didn't know what a biomedical engineer made. I just knew that I wanted to make my mark in this world helping people.
I had a counselor say, you're good at math, you're good at science, you should go into engineering. And you should go into chemical because right now that's the
The highest paid.
Mm-hmm.
But they knew you were so smart. I just don't
Mhm.
think people knew what to do with the brilliance. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Mhm.
And I feel like through these informal STEM opportunities, we can unlock a world
Mhm.
for people to see that it's not just about being like a mad scientist in a lab or being an engineer that works at a company. Those things are beautiful, but it also can unlock a whole world for you. Like
Mhm.
we have friends who are engineers that do nothing with engineering but use their engineering training to excel at life. Like I love Mike Muse. I think he's amazing. He's an engineer.
Mhm.
You know what he does? A radio show. He's at the Grammys. Was he at the Oscars? Like he's in media,
Mhm.
and he uses his mind, the logistics, the thinking
Go
through the
Blue.
problem side. You didn't have to do that.
He went to Michigan.
Okay, you didn't have to do that. But I love him from a standpoint of like you still use your training to do whatever it is that you're going to do in life. Yes, he went to Michigan. You get to do your Go Blue all day, but I just think there's more examples of your world being expanded because you did have this career and this training.
Mhm.
Like you're not. It teaches you how to think
It does.
differently.
It's interesting because I think, we do all these things where we recognize people, and it's amazing how many people you see that have engineering backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like I think we're doing the women's STEM come up, and one of the honorees is the coroner.
Yeah.
She's an engineer from UC.
Yeah.
Before she went
go
to
Bearcats.
There you go. She got her engineering degree before she got her MD. And you see this all the time. People are like,
Yeah.
well, I'm an engineer and I do this now.
But it teaches you how to think.
Mhm.
And that's what we want. We need more critical thinkers. We
Mhm.
need people who can really break down a problem. Like root cause analysis is real. You should use it in your life. Like
Mhm.
it helps you understand what's going on.
Right.
And I just think that it unlocks something that expands your world.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're going to end on this part.
Mhm.
There was a recent study that came out that said that if you introduce kids to STEM skills in preschool, that they even have better social, emotional skills throughout their life. So when I'm talking about unlocking a world, it's deeper than just, oh, I know how to code or I can build and understand how to calculate a force. It is truly they have better social, emotional skills too. Thoughts?
No, I see it. I think
You do see it.
I'm surprised at our son.
Tell me more.
He's a good engineer.
Yeah, he actually is.
I was very surprised. Not very surprised. Like
I'm like, dang,
we don't
put some respect
We
on
don't
his
do
name.
a lot. He likes Legos, but we don't do a lot of
He
specific.
does not like to build with Legos.
He
with
does
us.
not build. He
Not
does
with us.
things on his own. But we did Scribblebots, and I walked in. You said his Scribblebot was the best. He did it the quickest. It works the best.
Yeah, his
And
works
then he
really
went
well.
to
It
a-
still works.
We sent him to a rocket camp,
Oh, he had the best rocket.
and this is with students up to 6th grade,
He had the
and
best
his rocket flew.
the highest.
It flew the highest, not in his demographic.
No, overall.
As a going into the 1st grade, his rocket was the best one there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we rubbing off on him? Because I don't think we.
I think we do. I actually am stressed about how we raise our kids from a standpoint of like, do they know why we do all the things that we do?
I don't know, but I feel like it's there. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
Waverly likes to build too.
And she's hyper independent, which frustrates me. I want to help her, and she's like, "Get away from me!" And I'm like, oh, "Not my baby girl." We definitely raise kids differently, boys and girls. Like when Waylon wanted independence, I said, "Go forth, get out of here." She wants independence, and I'm like, "Come back to me." She is a builder. She's a creator more than a builder. She likes to create things. But I don't know. Waylon has some of those skills. I do hear that a lot, that our kids have a different level of maturity. That's what makes me worried. Did I push them too far to be adults in their 6th?
Well, for me, I don't want to get into it, but it scares me as a black boy because if he's looked at as mature, he becomes a threat.
Ooh, okay. We can't end on that because that's gonna. I mean, you're not wrong. They say by the time black boys are 8, they are looked at as men, whereas there are white boys that can be 30 and they'll still call them kids. It's mind-boggling.
Well, they did that study where it was kindergarten. I think it was kindergarten, where they tracked the teacher's eyes.
Yes.
And they said the teacher's eyes would focus on the black boys more than anyone else.
Yes.
And this is in kindergarten.
And they would say they were doing the same or even less behaviors than the other kids in the class, but they still hyperfixated on the black boys. Yeah.
And so that scares me about his independence, because he's going to be, I worry, because he's going to be a big black dude.
Why do you think he's going to be big?
I'm big.
You're only 6'3".
That's big.
My mom is 4'11". You never know.
Look, our son is going to have issues.
Why?
Because he's 5 and has washboard abs.
No, he does. I literally was like, and he knows it. He doesn't know what it means, but he knows it. And I'm like, oh,
but remember,
gosh.
his swim teacher was like, your son, like the way he was describing him, I was like, no, this is
you were like,
not
chill
good.
Out.
He was like, your son has these muscles as a time of 4-year-old. This was his swim teacher.
I know.
And he was like, he's fierce, he's independent, he's fearless, he just will jump in the water.
And we were like,
that's none of that. The water thing is definitely scary. Him being muscular will become scary. And I'm like,
you know, it's going to become scary when he knows what having muscles means to
I mean,
everybody
he already
else.
said this prayer was thank God for making me handsome. We were like, what are you talking about?
But you don't want to kill the confidence. Like, he should think he's handsome. He should know he's handsome. Okay. The world will knock you down and tell you so many negative ways, either explicitly or not. And I just want my kids to navigate this space. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm beautiful and I'm handsome and I'm smart. Like, I do want them to have it. I just don't want them to be cocky. But right now, I just need them to, like, believe it. I want it to be like a universal truth. As real as gravity is around, I want them to think that's how pretty. Like, there's no fighting it. And I don't know what the balance is. I don't know how to filter in, like, okay, you got to add some humility, but the world will humble you enough. Why do I need to do it? I don't feel like it's my job. My job is to both, like, to boost them up.
Yeah. You think you handsome will get you the clothes to go along with it.
You do know there's a thing called pretty privilege, right? Oh, we'll have to talk about that on a different episode. But pretty privilege is a real thing, and it impacts so many careers. But yeah. Thank you for joining on this episode about informal STEM education. I always appreciate when we get to chat about the things that we're passionate about. But join us next time on Princess of STEM Diaries.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Princess of STEM with Dr. Whitney Gaskins. For more episodes, find us on YouTube and Spotify.